Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV's live coverage of the iRacing Israel League. We're here at beautiful Sebring International Raceway and we're a bit late to the party on this one. It's round two of the series and we're going to have some drivers setting some qualifying laps for us in a few minutes. Joining me in the commentary booth, we have Alex Simpson. He's also going to be behind our cameras and the overlay you see on the screen. Alex, how are you and what's your expectations for this race?
Yep, hello everyone, good to be here. Well, I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest. Obviously, it's the first time we're covering this series, and to say it's a mixed bag of drivers out there would be a bit of an understatement. We've got people that have only just joined the sim, some people that have been doing this for absolutely years, massive gulf in I rating and safety rating levels out there. Some drivers that have never drove this Porsche GT4 car on iRacing, people that have just done a bit of Skippy and a bit of this. So this could be really, really interesting. I hope what we have actually is a real sort of little mixture of battles throughout the race. We've got a lot of different times that have been set in practice, but I hope what we have is little pockets of great racing throughout this Sebring event. And I'm looking forward to trying to bring you absolutely the best action we can from it.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be fantastic to see. You're going to be doing your job on the cameras. And we've got, as you said, a massive variety in drivers here. We've got 4 minutes into a 10-minute qualifying session. These guys are going to have 2 laps of under their belts, and we're going to have some times coming in shortly with people about halfway through their first flying laps. But Porsche GT4, it's a brand new car to the sim, and it's got the new tire model version 7 and the new damage model, so all of that's going to be interesting to watch. And since it's a new car, we really don't know what to expect anyway, but with new drivers that we've not really seen before, it's going to be even more interesting to see how they do as we see some drivers now coming near to the end of this lap.
Yeah, first
As you
few
can see,
times are starting to come in. Um, Mainly just out laps at the minute. I think times will warm up. Of course, anyone who knows a little bit about iRacing and the latest tyre model, it takes a lap or so just to get the tyres into that little sweet spot that Farran put in the first time in at the moment. Up there is a 2 minute 12.5. We'll see how that progresses. And yeah, just for those that obviously are not familiar with our broadcasts or anything like that, obviously what's coming up on screen, you can see the different sector times, whether they're quicker or slower than what they have done previously. Obviously, yellow slower, quicker previous than or better than their previous best for that sector. And then of course, purple is the traditional fastest sector of the session. So Nave there, obviously with a 2:12.8 that he's just put in and come across the line. A great time with lots of purple sectors, but a lot of sectors around Sebring Dane, and you didn't get all of them purple there, so there are some other quick guys out there as well.
yeah, of course, they bring pretty long track. You can see where the sectors start and finish on the track map on the right hand side of your screen. Those red dots indicate where the sectors start and finish. And 2 minutes 11.8, that's a pretty fast time by Nave, but we're expecting, based on how practice went, that they can get into the 2 minute 10s with no problem. We'll see if the tires can get warm enough to actually be able to give enough grip to get into the 2 minutes 10s. But as you see the drivers start coming down the order, we've got 13 cars finishing their first laps there, and massive gaps between the drivers. We've got first place in Nave, he's got 2 minutes 11, and down at the end, we've got Kazi, and he has got a 2 minutes 22. So there's 11 seconds between the drivers so far, and we haven't even had all of them finish their laps.
Yeah, still got a little bit of time to go. I mean, this Porsche GT4, have you driven it much? What's your impressions of it? I mean, I have to say, I personally haven't turned a lap in it yet.
I did quite a bit of it in week 13 actually. It's a really fun little car to drive. It drives a little bit like the GT3 Cup car that we'll see in the Porsche Esports Super Cup, for example, but it's a much slower car. It's not like a car that you put the power down and you're instantly going, as Farran sets a new fastest time just by 300ths of a second. But it's not the most powerful car in the world, but it is very good for close racing. I've had some pretty intense races in week 13, which is good to see, but very close at the top there, just 300ths of a second as we see some more drivers setting their lap times.
Here comes Nave again though, another 3 purple sectors and a personal best in sector 1, so this could be a heck of a time. Maybe this 2:10 that you were looking at, not quite, 2 minutes 11.3, so still perhaps a little bit of time. He's going to go for another one, is he? No, looks like he's backed out as well.
Yeah, they only get 2 laps of qualifying each, and it looks like quite a few of them have retired back to the pit lane. They've obviously completed both of their laps. We've still got some cars out there, and we've got just under 2 minutes left of the session as we see Cohen now coming up to the hairpin.
This is definitely his second lap, so just one so far, so needs to nail that. Slight improvement for Decal there as well, so moved himself up and into 8th place with a 2:13.7. Yeah, let's stay with Cohen though, because yeah, he's like I say, he's set a pretty reasonable time, and he hasn't got too much to find to move himself up a couple of places. He can get 3/10, which looks like you can get with the slightly better tyres. And you can see on the right there as well, car number 15, that he has improved in sectors 3 and 4. A little bit slower in 1 and 2. We don't know the offset, and he needs to improve because he's just been knocked down to 7th place at this point. Obviously, if you're watching, just let us. Oh, look, have we run out of time? No, just a little blip in his internet there. I thought for a moment the server had pulled over and he wasn't going to get to finish his lap. But yeah, if you're watching, don't forget to give the channel a thumbs up. And yeah, if you're not already a subscriber, do follow that. And head on over to Apex Racing TV as well to get that subscription in too. Here we go then, round the final corner. Nails that final sector, yeah. What a great lap.
Final sector, really good final sector, fastest final sector of the session out of everyone, and that'll do it for us for qualifying. Some drivers not going to get to finish their last laps. All right, we see some of the drivers gridding up. We're going to have a look through the starting grid. We've got Nave in first position, obviously the race winner from the first round with a 2:11. 4 tenths behind him is Farran in second. We've got Peter Green in third, Cohen in fourth, Sherling in fifth, Epstein in sixth, and we've got Michelin in seventh, Mizrazi in eighth, Deckel in ninth, Patent in 10th, Nauer in 11th, and Michael Simon in 12th. As we see either Isaac in 13th, Gil Epstein in 14th, Ori Lahav in 15th, Yossi Gabai in 16th, Zeno in 17th, Kazir in 18th, Gioni in 19th, Ger Krugman in 20th, and we've got Zeitman in 21st, and Ulster in 22nd, which rounds up the rest of the grid.
Yeah, reasonable little grid for this one, yeah.
Yeah, quite a few drivers, more drivers than we were expecting, and not all of them gridded up just yet, but once they are, the pace car will lead them off for a lap, and then we'll be underway.
Yeah, I think we were just waiting for Isaac to take to the grid. Again, those of you that don't know, if he wants to start from the pit lane, what that means is everybody has to sit waiting nice and patiently until the timer ticks down. You get yourself about, depends on what the league sets, you get what, about a minute, sometimes 2 minutes to get yourself to the grid. So we'll just wait for him. Of course, you get your switch from your quali set to your race set, get yourself all ready, last sip of drink, and yeah, get yourself ready. Right, we have got a long old lap around Sebring. It is a long old lap around Sebring with the pace car, so this will be interesting. Obviously, what you can see on your overlay as well, the little highlights in obviously green and red are just highlighting where there's obviously been an overtake. Obviously at this point it's just a pace lap, but yeah, so just to let you know of position changes that are going on. You may also see as well a little splash of red in the position indicator throughout the race, and what that indicates of course is that a driver has gone off the circuit. It might just be a couple of wheels, but it is they're just sort of, I'm not going to say track extending, but I just did, so but maybe a bit of extending, or just have had a little bump or something like that. But yeah, so something to keep an eye on, and of course we'll try and bring you as many of the replays of different bits of action as we can.
You mentioned off tracks, they're not going to be wanted to do too many of those. There's a 17 incident point limit. We've got 1x for an off track, 2x if you spin and lose control, and then a 4x for contact with a car. If it's heavy, you're going to get 4x, but they've got a 17x limit and they're going to get a penalty at that point. And if they manage to get to 25x's in half an hour of this race, then they will be disqualified. Hopefully we won't see too much of that.
Yeah, like I say, half hour should be alright. I don't see many people getting to that point.
As we've seen some drivers weaving at the back, not too many at the front, but we've seen some weaving near the end of the field, that's trying to get their tyres to warm up. Obviously starting the race on freezing cold tyres, which means there's not too much grip, so you're going to see drivers taking it pretty easy on the first few laps, just trying to get some heat into their tyres, because if they don't, they're going to be going around in circles. As we come round now towards the end of the lap, only a few corners and a very long straight left of the lap, and then we'll be underway. We've got Nave in first position, winner of the first round. He's proven himself to be pretty quick in this GT4 car, and got Green and Farran behind him. Those are also pretty quick drivers. They've been doing some official races in the same car as on the track, and they've been doing pretty well. But as we come towards the start of the race, we might see a couple of incidents, and this car has got the new damage model, which they've completely overhauled the system here in iRacing with the damage in some cars, and this is one of them, and it's gonna make for some pretty spectacular crashes if we do happen to see any of them. As they come now down towards the final corner, the pace car will pull away and leave Nave in control of the field.
He's not holding the pack or anything like that, is he? So right behind there, so he's not trying to get any kind of jump, so it could be as soon as the pace car jumps into the pits, he might gun it.
Yep, with our leader, as soon as the pace car goes, he has from then until the green flag to take the start. If he waits until the green flag, he's not going to get much of a jump, but the pace car pulls away now through the cones, and it looks like he's underway. We have green flag
crash
racing.
in the background.
There's already a spin in the back. Oh, and it's a big one. He's collected quite a few cars there. Some of them slowing down enough to get through there. Looks like 4 or 5 cars are being involved in that one. But Nave has got away cleanly, going too wide pretty much throughout the pack there through turn 1. Pretty clean through turn 1. As we see Nave pulling away now. The gap already a second behind Peter Green. Green looks like he's made up a place to Farran already. Didn't have the best start. As we see Gil Epstein in 5th, 9 places up from his starting position. He must have gained a lot of positions during that wreck that we saw at the start of the race.
Yeah, we'll get a little replay of that once the first lap has settled itself down, so we can try and work out exactly what happened there. So I think it just looked like somebody got a little loose on the start into the wall. Of course, nowhere to go for anyone with Sebring. You're just going to come off the wall and into the pack, and yeah, I think that is exactly what's happened. But still a lot of runners out there, so people can of course get some repairs. But with the damage model, the new damage model in these cars, they're definitely not as hardy as what we perhaps are used to here on iRacing from years gone past. So we might have lost a wheel or two here, so we might even have some retirees already.
Yeah, of course, with the new damage model, you can lose wheels, which has pretty much never been possible before. They've kind of
Oh,
deformed. As
leader!
we see, Nave, the leader of the race, spins out. That's cold tires for you. That's a very tricky part of the circuit that you need a lot of grip for. Looks like he's gone in a bit too hot there, and we have now got a battle for the lead as we
Someone
see Farran
around
and
as
Green
well onto
side
the
by
back straight.
side. Farran and Green here side by side for the race lead, and it looks like Farran has taken the lead here, and Sherling up into second place. A nice move down the inside into the final corner.
Yeah, good.
And we look like we have an incident further back down the field as well.
Good mood for Sherling there as well. He just sort of took that opportunity to follow Farran through. Did it well, and now he looks like he's got the bit between his teeth because he's putting a bit of pressure on our leader. Green was able to sort of capitalise initially from the mistake of Nave. But yeah, it looked like Nave just caught that curb on the inside. It's pretty high there, and it drops off and just unsettled the car massively. Didn't get out of the gas, and around he went. But I am going to go back and see if we can see exactly what happened at the start of this race. It looked like Michael Simon was the one who got involved first in something. Let's see exactly what happened. That's probably not the best of view. Let's see if we can find a better camera angle, but he's certainly around.
It looks like the car behind has punted him. He's got a better start, and looks like he's got a pretty poor start and just, yeah, he's been punted, and that's turned him around. He's been turned at the start on the straight, and everyone behind is scrambling to avoid them. Car doesn't look like it's too damaged there. Bit of bumper damage at the rear maybe, but you can see all the cars.
Come up in
Get a better view
the
of this.
chopper, we'll get a much better idea exactly what's going on. Oh yeah, absolutely lit it up coming out the corner, didn't he? Perhaps jumped. Oh, you know, I don't know what they're doing in terms of stewards, but I would have said that's technically a jump start. The leader hadn't gone at that point, and
Yeah, it does
that
look
is
like it.
what has caused that. We've got Yoshi Gabby here as well, I think. Also got involved in it, trying to avoid the car, and then so that was it, just trying to avoid that wreck. And like you say, there's just nowhere for anyone to go because the concrete barriers here at Sebring just basically push you back into the circuit, and yeah, no one can really avoid. But yeah, this battle for the lead, I mean, there's 0.8 of a second between them now. Sherling just dropped ever so slightly off, so Farran looking happy out there. But what I will do is our obviously pole sitter has got to work his way back up through this pack, so this is going to be interesting to watch. But I am going to just go back and see if we can get a on board of exactly what happened to him, because yeah, suddenly he's fighting the car there.
He thinks about it into turn one, thinks the better of it.
Here we go.
We'll have an onboard of him.
This isn't right, so this is where he just checked our overlay, just getting a false positive on the crash. But yeah, so obviously it's a little bit wide here, and then he's over this curve, and that you can see how unstable the car is. It just bit him, so it's the turn in. He just pushes wide, the cold tyres, the front's nowhere near up to temperature, and yeah, having to, you can see there's a bit of an aftermath as well, people just avoiding. But he's got a tough old job on his hand nowadays.
Yeah, he's clearly proven to be quick, obviously pole position and the winner of the first round. But he's going to have a fight on his hands now. He's 7/10 behind now in 7th place. Oh, and in fact, he's just having a battle of his own here with Dekel.
Yeah,
Looks
up
like
the
they're
inside.
trying to make a move on him.
Good move, and there's also a battle just ahead as well. Amir having a little battle here. And actually, Amir through and away. So it's interesting to see as well. Obviously, qualifying 2 laps is all you get. Sometimes you just don't quite get those laps in. So I imagine the grid maybe just jumbled up ever so slightly. And I think this is what we're seeing with some of these drivers coming back through. But our leader is away. 1.5 seconds now. He's looking comfortable. Constant green sectors for the lap so far, and purple first sector as well. So yeah, very happy with this. What's he going to do? Times of lap time. So 12.5. So not a million miles off from where they were in Q. But yeah, you can see that 1.1 seconds quicker than Sherling that lap. So really putting the hammer down right now.
Yeah, gaps up to just under 2 seconds there, and he's pretty much picked up all of that time in the last lap there. And he's set a 2 minutes 12, which is showing that the tyres are warming up now. We see Nave catching up to now in 7th place. We'll hopefully have a battle on our hands there. We can have a look at Peter Green now. Losing a lot of time to Sherling as well. He's a good 2.5 seconds behind, losing some time, and Epstein behind is going to be right on the gearbox of that. Maybe a move later on in the lap if he can get closer.
Yeah, Epstein was definitely quicker that last lap, 0.7 of a second, so he definitely settled into a bit of a rhythm, just a fraction quicker than Peter here. Peter qualified fairly well, you know, he sort of stayed static, he hasn't lost or gained any places at this point, so I think consistency might play a big part in this race. So we'll see what he does in terms of how hard he's going to try and battle for this position and see if he can stay on this podium. But yeah, Shea looking pretty strong. It's worth to point out as well that I did just see on my timing screen that Nave has moved himself up another place. So that's up to 7th now. So yep, he's going to fight back. I mean, he's got 22 minutes to do it. So oh, is that a back marker? There's a back marker. So it's just like, what was going on there? Felt like we might have lost one of the leaders for a moment.
They're all doing fine here. We see Epstein just 0.4 seconds behind. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move this lap. Maybe if he gets a run out of the final corner, he can try down the start finish straight into turn 1. But Farran is now 3.5 seconds ahead of Sherling there. That's a big gap he's pulled. Let's see what lap time he can do this lap. 2 minutes 12.8, slower than his previous lap. Just not trying to push too hard as Epstein, just too far away to make a move on green.
Bit of difference in lines there, and Epstein really not getting the exit out. And of course, it is worth pointing out as well, it's quite easy for us to sit in the box, but we haven't mentioned it. Darkness is starting to fall, and Sebring's not the easiest of circuits to run at night. I mean, you've got the little sort of cat's eyes on the edge of the circuit, but unlike a lot of places, there's not very much floodlight around, and yeah, sometimes you can. It's not that you get lost, but you just get your lines just ever so slightly wrong. It takes an amount of practice to get this place absolutely perfect at the night. But yeah, very contrasting lines at the moment, and I'd actually say green looks very much more comfortable in this first half of this lap around Sebring. But I wonder if we'll see Epstein close back in on this second half.
Yeah, of course, Sebring at night. Sebring's not the best track it's not the easiest track to drive at the best of times. You can see just there, change in surface. It was, of course, an old air base, and we've got some really bumpy concrete cracked sections. I think we're going to go on to one as we go on to start finish straight, and then we've got these smoother tarmac sections. They're still bumpy, but they are a bit smoother, and it's a very interesting line there. Ooh, just catches the curb, as we saw Nave do on the first lap. You don't really want to be doing that. It's very easy to unsettle the car.
I'll tell you what, this is a good lap from Green. I think he felt a bit of pressure that last lap as he got closed in by Epstein, and he really has had a really smooth lap. And I'm just going to switch up to Green for a moment there, because it has been a great lap, and he's actually closed in quite considerably this lap on Sherling as well. So I think we're going to have a battle for second place on our hand in no time.
And he sets a 2 minute 12.2. That's the fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Purple there for him.
And instantly beaten by Nave. He sets a lap 500ths of a second faster than Green's lap on that time by, and he's in 7th place. Let's see what the gap is between him and the guy in 6th, and he's caught up 2 seconds since we last looked at him. So, and he's just caught half a second since I said that. So it looks like he's catching pretty quickly, and we will hopefully have a battle on our hands further back in the field as well.
There you go. We'll give you some live gaps there as they appear. But yeah, Green certainly feels very happy in the car now. I mean, look at the difference in the sectors. I mean, sector 2, sorry, in the different laps there. Just was losing all that time in the first few laps, but goes for a move up the inside of the hairpin. Good on the brakes. They're going to be side by side on the exit. It's never easy there unless you just really sort of send it in and make sure you get massive overlap. And Michael's able to hold on, but certainly going to have to get a wriggle on, I think, because he's going to come under pressure not only from Green, but Epstein right with this battle now as well.
Yeah, of course, they're holding each other up by going side by side through the corners. You've got to go slower, and Epstein doesn't. He's catching. He's right on the back of Green now, Epstein is. And yeah, it's one of the trickiest places to overtake on the whole circuit where he did make that move. It's very narrow, and the curbs are high. You can't really get up on them. And around the outside for the second part of the course, it's very difficult there. You're not really going to make the move unless you really send it. And we see 0.3 of a second the gap ahead and behind of Green, so we've got a nice little three-way battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th going on.
I have to say, the guys have not helped us here. We're at 9th at Sebring, and we've got a bunch of black cars out there. Yeah. It's just like, what, they're trying to go in camo out there?
Where are the cars?
Green having a little look into one. Takes that tight entry. It's going to compromise his exit. Will Epstein try something on the exit? He has got a better run. Does have a little look. I think that's more just to spot the breaking point, and he misses it. It's only marginal, so they continue. It's just a little nudge. And actually, I tell you what, Dane, I have seen much worse results than that. That was pretty, yeah, that was pretty good in terms of what happened there.
Yeah, of course, it's so easy just to lose your braking point when following a car so closely into a braking zone. And it's so easy just to touch the back end under braking, and that car can be sent around. And there's not much runoff there either on that part of the circuit. So we have a look at
a couple of overtakes just happened. I don't know what that was. Maybe someone was slowed down or something. Yeah, because Isaac got past Ron Cohen, and then there was another overtake just a moment after that, which was Michael Simon. Got himself up and into 10th place as well. This looks like a genuine one. Into turn 1. Yep, on the brakes, threw it in, runs a little bit wide, so he is going to have to hold it. It's always that turn 1 overtake. They always come straight back at you in this first sector, but no, holds on the yeah, that very sort of traditional Porsche livery that seems to be doing the rounds at the moment.
Yeah, of course, Simon was qualified in 12th, and he's been sent all the way to the back of the field with that first lap incident. He's working his way back up through the field nicely there. So we can have a look at Nave here. He's very close to the back of Maserati here. As we come into the final corner, is he going to make a move? He thinks about it. I think he just got the door closed on him there by Maserati. As they come around the final corner, who's going to get a better exit?
They're pretty even as they come out of Sunset Bend there. Some good battles going on further back. You can see it on the timing tower right now. Oh, I'm not sure it's battles. There's somebody into the wall.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
Sorry about that. I absolutely nailed it. So I think they were having a good battle anyway. So there was definitely a few changes of position around here. Someone going off as well there. Let's have a look exactly what happened to right here. Totally different lines, gets a good exit. Not sure who's going on there, but just lights up the rears on the way out. I tell you what, I've done that 100 times in practice. So easy to do there.
Yeah, of course, and the new damage model shown just a little bit there. You can see his car, no wing mirrors anymore. If he's using those wing mirrors, then his race is going to be pretty difficult from now on. Not going to know where the other cars are going, but it's a little bit of the new damage model that's not really happened before, so nice to see.
Yeah, interesting concept. I wonder if like maybe knocked off both mirrors and things like that. iRacing was like would be just like no, you've got no rear view or anything.
It would be very interesting to try and drive in a pack with no wing mirrors, that's for sure. So we see a couple of people in the pit lane getting overtaken by some drivers. Nothing.
Yeah, just some repairs. I feel that might be. Yeah, 'cause new car there.
Yeah, some drivers leaving the pits now. We've got 16th and 17th leaving pretty much at the exact same time. Not sure if they're laps behind. No, they do seem to be on the same lap, so that's going to be a battle coming straight out of the pit lane. And potentially on cold tyres as well.
So I don't know if Peter got any damage from that. Maybe on the rear wing. I can't see anything. It looks perfectly intact. It was just a tiny little nudge, but doesn't seem to have been able to catch back up to Shirley. And he really he had the bit between his teeth a few laps ago. But yeah, it's going to struggle, I think, a little bit. And Epstein really dropped the same sort of distance off. So this sort of three-car battle that we had that was looking quite exciting just sort of fizzled out ever so slightly.
Maybe some damage to the rear bumper or diffuser or something like that. And it's a shame to see, but Farran in first place, our leading driver, 7 seconds ahead. 18 minutes into this race, he's absolutely dominating.
Yeah, so I tell you what, when you're the leader, you don't often get a lot of love in terms of the airtime. So let's just take a little second just to have a look at our race leader. And in fact, as he's halfway around the lap, let's jump on board with him and we'll watch him for a lap and a bit and really get to enjoy this Sebring circuit at night. Oh, just about thought that was going to be a little moment there as well. I heard the car have a bit of a skip.
Coming up to some back markers here, flashing his headlights, get out of my way. It's always nerve-wracking in the lead of the race, trying to go past back markers, never quite sure what they're going to do. He's on his way now down towards Sunset Bend. And that back markers cost him a second of time. He's now just under 6 seconds ahead of Shirley.
I think he's got enough time. Oh, they're battling back. Nave has got through. We'll go back and look at that replay in a moment, but like I say, I do want to give our leader his time. So there's a little flash. You'd almost think that he's watching the broadcast. God, that car feels, just listening to it, just so unhappy through turn one, the bumps through there. Just not really settling and can't quite get the traction that you want.
Yeah, those bumps at turn one, obviously on the old airfield concrete base, it's really difficult to get through there. Steering input's going to be all over the place, trying to keep that car going in the direction you want it to be going. And another section of concrete here, it's very difficult, hard braking to the hairpin, and a transition into concrete near the end. It's so easy to lock up the brakes and just go straight on, which is not what you want to be doing. And he's built up his gap back up to pretty much 7 seconds again.
I love this bit of the circuit. Just heavy braking. So much time's been made lost here as well. Just getting that line absolutely right, getting the braking right, being able to absolutely floor the car around here. And then this is probably one of the hardest corners on any circuit. You saw it there, literally how much the car is just sort of bopping and bouncing around with the bumps. You just don't get the turning just right. You just sort of catch the wrong bumps as well, and they just push you even further wide. You're forever waiting for the car to turn through this sort of penultimate sector. Great flow. Use a little bit of the extra bit of the circuit to the left there, just to open up this this right-hander onto the back straight. And yeah, let it rip. You've got a couple of really high-speed sections. Just letting the back marker know that he's there pretty early. See, we've got no lighting inside as well. Ever so close to the inside of the wall there, through sunset. And those of you that don't know, there are about 4 different lines you can take through Sunset Bend. All of them have different bumps in different areas and can lead to very, very different lap times. But that was a good lap from our leader, and he's moved up to 7.1 seconds, 2 minutes 12 per lap, so good lap.
Yeah, very good lap there from our race leader. We see coming up to some back markers here, but very, very bumpy circuit. All of this concrete and the high curbs, it makes it so difficult. Oh, we've got a bit of an incident there. Someone spinning in Sunset Bend, and we've got Swazi under pressure.
Actually, I think he's just about to make the move back past Nave. I think Nave had got through, and then because of the back marker, he was able to get back alongside. But Nave really strong through turn 1 and was able to hold on to it. And let's just jump it back and see if we can see the very initial overtake. Sorry, that was the same one again. Let's get it up on the screen. So coming onto that back straight. It runs a little bit wide, and that's what gives Nave the opportunity to get the run down the back straight. And from there, it's just nothing you can do to defend when you just haven't quite got the exit that you want.
Yeah, there's a difference in speeds coming out of that corner really made that move easy for him. As he's up into 6th position.
So now he's
closing.
Yeah, I was about to say he's 0.2 of a second away from Epstein ahead of him now, who himself is only 0.9 from Amir. So really, like I say, still possibly an opportunity for a podium. Epstein just dropped ever so second there, just a little bit of a internet glitch, I think, on his part. That's one thing I will say at the moment. Dana's, the internet providers, are having to do a lot of work in the world right now, keeping us ticking over, whether it be racing, working from home, or God knows what. But yeah, without them, we are going to struggle. So pray to those internet gods.
Yeah, of course, with a lot of people working from home, the use of the internet is really skyrocketing, and kind of funny stories. They've not really looking like he's going to make a move, or is he? No, he's not. But quite a funny story I heard is that people are begging Netflix to stop streaming in 4K because it's killing the internet. There's not enough bandwidth to go around, and people are using it all on Netflix, and they're having a bit of a problem there. Nave is really right on the back of Epstein now.
Yeah, he'll want to get by. I mean, he's got 5 minutes left of this race. It's 2 and 2, maybe 3 laps because it's timed. So I feel like if he can get by him within this lap, then he's got a chance to get to Amir. I think Peter's going to be out of reach, but there is still opportunity. A little bit wide on the exit. He's going to surely get the run here. It's quite a run towards the next corner, and I don't know what the draft is like in these GT4s, but he's definitely having a little look, really showing his intent to throw one up the inside, and indeed he does that. Needs to make it stick. Yeah, he gets a good exit, and actually that is clean as you like move there.
Yeah, it's very difficult to make it stick there. He's just got a better exit. Ooh, as Epstein is a bit hard on the brakes there, a bit late as they come through down towards this tricky section of corners, but he's ahead and just over 2 seconds behind Amir in 4th place. He's definitely going to be pushing hard now as we come to the last few laps of the race to try and catch up and maybe make a move on him.
Yeah, and Amir is starting to really put the pressure on Green as well. So yeah, Peter, it's not something you want as a driver closing in on you on the final sort of minutes of the race. It just seems to amplify the pressure and suddenly, instead of looking forward, because at one point he really was closing in on Sherlin, now he's just got his eyes firmly locked on that rear view mirror, runs a little bit deep through sunset. That could be extremely costly.
Indeed, as we see Amir go towards the outside of the circuit, and he's going to get cut off by Green. He goes now to the inside of turn number 1. He goes side by side through turn 1, and it looks like Green has given him the inside line there. Not going to fight it out this late in the race. I think he's happy with losing a position. If it means he's going to stay in the race this close to the end. He's now less than a second in front of Nave in 5th, and he's smelling blood in the water.
I think Nave can see a podium on the cards now. I really didn't think he would have a chance to get to Green, but suddenly Green's pace has just dropped off. I don't know if he's killed the tyres or something like that, but yeah, suddenly really struggling with a bit of pace. I mean, last lap by 2:14, where he was comfortably in the sort of the 12s earlier on. So yeah, cooking him, I think, at the minute, and having a little look back though.
Amir has won very wide into the hairpin, and that's given him a great opportunity. Nave is now just 4/10 away from Amir in 3rd place.
Oh, it's contact.
Green, he's gonna look. Oh, and he's off.
Amir is off. He's not going to be happy with that. And actually, Nave has come out of that corner in 3rd place. So, yeah, just literally put both of them under so much pressure that they ended up hitting each other there and just picking up the pieces. I think we perhaps ought to get another little look at that one back on a replay.
Yeah, he's gone for a move and then he's just punted him slightly as there's a back marker that gets in their way a bit, and they go 3 wide on the exit there. We've got Nave. He's built up a second of a gap, but yeah.
You see it there, pretty hefty contact. So yeah, I do feel for Amir there. Oh, back marker, making that a little bit more tricky than it perhaps needed to be. But yeah, great recovery drive from Nave at this point. But yeah, I tell you what, Amir will be he'll be fuming. He's in 6th place, so it's not like he's out of this race by any means. But of course, yeah, he could smell the podium, but just cruelly taken away as we literally are onto the final lap of the race now, and this man has not put a foot wrong.
Yeah, exactly. He's still 7 seconds ahead, but I've just seen Green dive down onto pit lane. Looks like he's got some damage from that one. Unfortunately, down to 16th position, so maybe making it a bit too deep into the hairpin. It's cost him the rest of his race, and we have got 2 laps to go in this race. The timer about to tick down, and then we will have an extra lap. Or will we?
No, I think this is white flag because we're quite comfortably towards the end. It's always a point of contention, isn't it, with iRacing timed race? I think that's it. We are now at the half-hour mark, so the drivers will be notified that this is the white flag lap, and they just are racing round to the start-finish line.
And pretty much no battles going on. We've got intervals of 2 seconds or more everywhere in our field. And Peter Green has left the pits, so he will get to finish the race on the track. As we see Farran now coming through the penultimate few corners.
I'll tell you what, Dan, I said at the start of this one, I hope we got a lot of little individual battles, and while Nave wouldn't have wanted to do what he did, at least he's given us that little bit of excitement through this race and coming through. There has been the odd little battle here and there, but really has been enjoyable watching him come through. This man hasn't had to battle at all. Once he got that lead, it's been an absolutely flawless drive and well-deserved victory. Very, very consistent lap times as he brings it round the corner for the final time.
And he crosses our line as our race winner here for the second round of the iRacing Israel League. Sherling is going to finish in 2nd, and Nave with a fantastic comeback drive in 3rd. Epstein is going to finish in 4th, and then we've got Rahi in 5th, Amir in 6th, and we've got Hakim now coming round Sunset Bend here and he will come home to take 7th place. And a pretty big gap to Michael Simon here.
It's very dark at this point out there as well when you're on your own. Oh, a lovely line
Yeah,
through. Oh, maybe. No.
commentator's curse again. You've done it again.
See, now guys, I don't normally commentate, I have to say. You know, I'm normally just the man behind the camera. So they like to keep me quiet, and now you obviously know why, so sorry, Michael, for that one.
But luckily for him, the gap behind was absolutely massive. You can see there Isaac just coming around the final corner now, so it didn't cost him a position. Simon did pretty well to come back after that first lap 1 incident. He's gained 4 positions from his starting
That was
place
good.
on the grid. And you can see Peter Green coming around the final corner.
Yeah,
Unfortunate for him.
I think that was just fuel. Did he perhaps just didn't get the fuel right? I mean, I don't, unless he picked up some damage or something like that from the collision that needed to repair. Obviously, you can get what's called obviously the meatball for those that are new to iRacing, which means you have to pit for repairs. It's like the black flag saying you need to pit because of damage.
The
Normally
dreaded
you can,
meatball flag.
yeah, but normally you can leave it a lap or two. So I'm surprised he didn't just push it. Maybe that's him not knowing the rules and sort of playing the system a little bit there. But a few other drivers coming across, Gabby and Epstein as well. I think that might be about it. A few drivers still out on circuit, but everybody pretty much finished now. A good little race. Let's see, wait for the final classifications to come in. And here they are.
That's practice.
Thank you. I'll sort it out.
Well,
There we
here
go.
we are. Race results. Obviously 0 points. We're not entirely sure how the point system works, but here we are with the final race results. Farran winning the race, pretty much dominating as soon as he took over that first place from Nave with an unfortunate spin. Sharling in second, and Nave with a fantastic comeback after said spin in third place. Jay Epstein in fourth place, Mizrahi in fifth, Amir in sixth, but very unfortunate for him with a pretty much crash right near the end of the race. Could have been a bit better for him. Got now in seventh, and then we see the drivers start to drop off pretty drastically as we've got Simon 57 seconds behind. We've got Isaac and Green. Unfortunate for Green, involved in that incident with Amir. He's dropped down to 10th. Pitted, not sure if that was for fuel or for damage. And we've got Deckel and Lahav, Gabby and Gil Epstein all finishing on the lead lap, and then our lap drivers Sione, Patent, Ulster, and Zeitman in 18th place. As we've got a couple more drivers. We've got Krugman in 20th, we've got Zenu in 21st, and Ron Cohen finishing off in the grid in 22nd. He finished 7 laps down, so I think he didn't finish the race on track. He might have finished in the pit lane, but that's the end of the race results.
Let's just see if I can get a replay of the start back up here. Here's the formation. Well, while they're just doing the pace lap around, of course, if any of the drivers want to come and have a little chat with us, hopefully you've been given the link to our Discord channel. You're more than welcome to come in. We'll have a little post-race chat. Just head yourself into the interview waiting area, and we'll come and grab you. But yeah, Dane, what do you think of first round that we've covered here? Obviously, round number 2, different winner again. What you expected?
Yeah, of course, we came in not knowing how any of this was going to work. We didn't know the drivers, we didn't know the league that well, but it gave pretty great racing. Some unfortunate incidents at the start, but they gave us the opportunity to see pretty decent comeback drives from Nave and Simon. Lots of overtakes. We had a nice battle for second. I really enjoyed this race, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can try and get a few more broadcasts of this league in the future.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And I think, I know when I was obviously speaking to the guys, we weren't entirely sure on how many people would get, but a nice solid turnout as well, like that. Hopefully the broadcast will get a bit more traction, and we can get a few more people into this league as well. So, but 22, a nice number. But if we can get that up to sort of 30 cars out there, that'll be an awful lot of fun for everyone involved, and of course for us for watching.
Yeah, more cars means hopefully more battles, so it's always good to have more cars. Can create pretty chaotic races at times, but yeah, we'll hope to see some more drivers in here. Speaking of more drivers, there are some drivers that haven't made this round due to other commitments, including two times NASCAR Euro Whelen Series champion, Alon, and he is very big in the Israeli racing scene and, of course, the European racing scene. Two times champion of the NASCAR Euro Whelen Championship. He is not here because of another clash of calendars. He will be back for the rest of the season, hopefully, and hopefully we'll get to see some of him as well if we do get to broadcast this again.
Now we have, obviously we are just waiting for a few people to see if they will turn up. If not, we will just review the start of this race. But for everybody that's still watching the stream, there's a few of you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. But let's hit that like button and share some love for the iRacing Israel League YouTube channel. And if you're not already a subscriber, please please do. Ah, look, the session ended. And of course it zips us to the end, so we can't even see a replay of the start of the race. Let me see if I can't get that back. There may be a way I can do this. Yeah, it's not there, is it?
Yeah, we can see the cars on the pace lap. It looks like we have no one here for interviews, which is unfortunate.
There we go.
They have been given the link to our Discord, and if anyone in the race is watching on the iRacing as well, the YouTube channel, then please do come down. We do have a few minutes left for interviews.
Bunch of the guys. Oh, that crash again! That was the worst camera angle for it. Just like you just hear the crunch of that Porsche. No one wants to bend one of those, but that's what exactly has happened. But yeah, thanks to the guys that just hit that like button as well. There's a few of you there that did it, so anyone else that wants to do it, it'd be greatly appreciated as well. Let's give some love to this league, and yeah, get the next round of this broadcasted as well. But it was a good first lap actually. Like I say, the obvious, we'll exclude that, the little accident that there was there. But once that really happened, everyone just sort of settled in pretty quickly. And usually the first lap is where we see all kinds of shenanigans throughout the lap. So yeah. So if we come back for another one, it will be yeah, be interesting to see how this league's going to play out, especially with the championship now.
Yeah, of course, we don't have the standings, we haven't got too much information, but if we come back for round 3, we'll have much more information on how this is all going to work. We'll have more drivers and much more action, I hope, as well. It's going to be next week, if we do have it. It'll be at Sonoma Raceway.
Ah, I love Sonoma as well. Great circuit. I mean, there's about 100. Ah, there's that mistake, so costly as well. Thank you very much. Peter Green, I believe, just inherited the lead there. And of course, then we're going to see this great battle play out, where Farran's going to get that run. He does, just slips through there.
It almost looks as if Peter Green was a bit caught out there by
I think so. It was just, yeah, I was a bit
Looks like he's a
unsure.
bit shocked, and he probably slowed down a bit to make sure he wasn't going to plough into the back of the spinning car. And I think that's what gifted Farran the lead, but he definitely deserved it, increasing that lead from the get-go, and he never looked back.
I can't believe how dark it is actually, just reviewing like this lap one. I thought actually we were sort of dusk conditions to start off with, but actually we were pretty much at night from the green flag. Right, well I think we are in the position where we haven't got anyone come in. So what we'll do, just while we're watching this for a moment, just final thoughts from you, Dane?
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. We had some good comeback battles. It was very enjoyable for me to watch and to commentate on. I really do hope that we can get these series back as a regular series. It would be great for the league. We've got 22 drivers and some that couldn't make it, so it would be a nice large grid for Sonoma. But really enjoyed it, and I hope to be back soon.
Yep, pretty much the same from me. I really enjoyed this one. Good introduction to the series, like I say. I hope this is the first of many that we will be able to do. And yeah, look forward to the next round. Sonoma in these GT4s, that's been really interesting. And yeah, I feel like the pack is going to be very tight there as well, very technical circuit. So it could be totally different, where this one's very wide open. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Well, I'll sign myself off from here, but it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much, and you know, if I'm back, I will see you again next time. Over to you, Dan, to wrap us up, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So we've had a very eventful race here with Hagay Farran in first place. He's going to be looking forward to the next round at Sonoma, but from us at Apex Racing TV, it is goodbye. Thank you very much for watching, and we will hopefully see you at the next one.